Greetings, everyone. This is John Contreras, and you are listening to my broadcast, Greek News on Demand. Greek News on Demand is based off of my news blog, GreekNewsOnDemand.com. That's one word, GreekNewsOnDemand.com. This is a work that I started back in August of 2015 with some colleagues in Greece, which are some of the best economists, journalists, statisticians, academics out there in Greece that are all patriotic, that are anti-New World Order, and that want to basically create the best type of reporting out there to get the news out to not only Greece, but to all English-speaking countries, to the whole world for that matter, about what Greece has really gone through in these past 7 years now with regards to its what it seems never-ending economic crisis. So we provide you with the best news bombs of the day on Greece, primarily in Greek, but we also report in English. So if you do go to our website, GreekNewsOnDemand.com, go to the English articles section, and there you're going to find a score of English articles that basically we've published, not only about Greece and the memorandums and all that it's been dealing with the Troika, etc., but also on world geopolitical issues. If you'd like to learn more about me, please visit my personal website, johncontreras.com. That is spelled JOHNKOUN as in Nancy, T as in Tom, OURIS. That's JOHNKOUNTOURIS.com. And there you can find out more about me and the work that I do for the Greek people. I am a Greek-American journalist. I appear on Greek radio and TV, both here in the United States and in Greece. I also write for a mainstream Greek newspaper in Greece. It's called Eleftheri Ora. In English, that's translated as The Free Hour. And, of course, we have our news blog. And basically, I help to get the news out about what's really gone on in Greece to all of the English-speaking world, because really there are not too many sites out there that really have the right type of reporting on what's been going on in Greece that is tailored for the English-speaking world. There's several out there, but there is very few, to tell the truth, like it is. And I get my information straight from the best sources in Greece, people that are linked tightly with the Greek government. For example, I get my information on the Greek financial figures on the Greek debt straight from the Greek Statistical Office. And only they can really truly tell us what has gone on in Greece, because they're the ones that handle the numbers. And if you get my book, Hellenic Crisis by John Contreras, Hellenic Crisis, which you can find on Amazon's Kindle, you're going to find all the facts there on what's really been going on in Greece. And it's some really jaw-dropping information. So please take advantage of that. And the book is used, of course, toward funding me, because I do not get paid for appearing on Greek TV and radio, even though, basically I've had all these opportunities in the past several years to do so, and I still do. So this book helps fund me and my operations. There's also my second book, Your Academic Guide to the Greek Language, Culture, and Civilization by John Contreras. Again, that's Your Academic Guide to the Greek Language, Culture, and Civilization by John Contreras. And this book not only covers the Greek financial crisis, but it covers the more general crisis about Greece, about its history, about basically the Greek people's culture, and so on and so forth, which has been going on for like the past 200 plus years, really, since their liberation from the Ottoman Turks up until today. And it gets into, historical facts about the greatness and power of ancient Greece, of the Greek Christian Byzantine Empire, which lasted over 1,000 years. It was the greatest empire ever on the face of the earth. We talk about I talk about the fall of the Byzantine Empire, how it all happened, and how that played into the onset of the New World Order. So it's a great book. I also teach you all the mysteries of ancient Greek. So you're not going to want to put it down, trust me. But you're going to have to read it on your Kindle reader for now because it's not in print yet. So today, we're going to get into basically Donald Trump's first few days, first week or so in office. And we're going to see how things are going for him. We're going to cover that. But then we're going to get into basically what he's going to do about Greece. Because the reports now coming out of the IMF concerning Greece and concerning Donald Trump's new government don't look good. Let's just put it that way. So, this is Greek News on Demand. Please visit our website. Please support our cause. And this is all for the Greek people. Their culture, their heritage, the fact that they founded the Western civilization, and so on and so forth. Remember, it was us Greeks that offered everything to the Western world, that created mathematics, architecture, the sciences. That laptop computer you're over right now using, we created the first computer thousands of years ago, folks. Major publications have come out about that through National Geographic. Yes, you heard that correctly. Any type of invention you can think of. In modern era, folks, the Greeks created. We owe everything in Western civilization to them. So, this is all for the Greek people. And this is for maintaining, for saving their heritage, their culture. You know, the English language is based off of primarily the Greek language. All Western languages are subsets of the Greek language. So, basically, this is the work that I do. And I hope that you will really get the message of what Greek News on Demand is all about. GreekNewsOnDemand.com. So what I'd like to do is get into basically Trump's first few days. What has Trump done, folks? What has he done? Let me tell you what he's done. He's gone back on a lot of his stances, for example, against the people that he's opposed to. Okay? Now, you're going to tell me right now, wait a minute, you know, Trump is already fulfilling his promises. He just cut abortions for all the lesbian, gay, and bisexual community for their non-governmental organizations, and he's pledging money for the wall, and he's doing this, and he's doing that. Yes, he is doing that. Okay, I understand that. But don't you understand that his role here is to play the agitator, to create tension here in America? to get everyone riled up. Don't you understand that America is split? Don't you understand that this guy is driving America to civil war? See, the problem is, folks, we don't need a conservative savior who pretends he's a Christian and he's for family values. That's all garbage. We need someone who is a real, number one, anti-New World Order type. Number two, who really does care about America. Number three, who is a real Christian. And number four, who's not here to bring tension, but who's here to unite America. And only a united America can save itself and the rest of the world. You see, that's what we thought that America was all about all these years. But folks, we were all wrong. America was never about that. America was about bringing the New World Order about. So, yeah, Trump was doing all that. But see, he's doing also some other things that are very, very eye-glaring, that are just unbelievably shocking. I don't even know. I mean, it's just like, how are people not noticing this? Very few, unfortunately. First of all, Trump has said that he's not going to have basically people, he's not going to deal with the big banks. He's going to expose them. Okay? Let me tell you something. He is now hiring, he has put on his team people connected with Goldman Sachs and with George Soros. Remember all those times during the campaign saying he was against George Soros? Ladies and gentlemen, he has appointed as the head of the Treasury Department, Mr. Steve Mnuchin, former Goldman Sachs executive and George Soros associate. How can Donald Trump and George Soros, folks, be opposed to each other? How can George Soros be exposing, quote unquote, or trying to, let's say, destroy Donald Trump, which the media is hyping up? When in reality, Donald Trump is associated with George Soros. He has been associated with George Soros for years, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, Donald Trump has taken funding from George Soros in the past. In 2008, when he was going to build Trump Towers, he secured funding from George Soros. Okay? Right now, the new head of the Treasury Department is Steve Mnuchin, a guy who's been a George Soros associate for years. Does that not say anything to us? I mean, hello? Here's another thing. Do you guys remember the debate, the last debate between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton? Do you remember when Donald Trump was basically saying how, to Clinton, to her face, in front of everyone, in front of the whole world, I'm going to appoint a special prosecutor, and he's going to look into your crimes. And he was like looking her straight in the eye. But I mean, everyone with a brain for discerning things knew that that was all BS. People just looked at that, and it was just like a total show, because Hillary Clinton was just standing on the stage smirking. She knew it was all BS. And they both knew that they were putting on a show. Really? Because after the inauguration, there was this huge luncheon that they had in the afternoon. And then later on the night, they had that ball. But during the luncheon, what took place, ladies and gentlemen? What happened there, folks, when Donald Trump basically stood up and gave a speech during that luncheon? Out of the blue, he says, and today we have in the audience Bill and Hillary Clinton. And I want you all to stand up and give these people a standing ovation. They're great people. And everyone stands up and hand claps and like cheers loudly for Bill and Hillary Clinton, these two freaking criminals who Donald Trump acted like they were his enemies during the campaign so he can win the support of all those conservatives out there, those anti-New World Orders, those Alex Jones supporters who thought he'd throw Hillary Clinton in prison. Give me a break. I don't hear any of these people right now talking about this. Of course, Alex Jones isn't talking about it because he's bought and paid for. He sold his soul in the beginning. Alex Jones, of course, is a whole enigma within himself. there is 100% solid proof that he's not Alex Jones. He's actually the former comedian Bill Hicks. Now, people are going to think, oh, that's crazy. We've heard that conspiracy theory for years. Yeah, but folks, there's solid proof for that, and that he's pulling our strings, and that he really works for Time Warner, for Ted Turner and CNN, in other words, because he's always on freaking CNN. He is Bill Hicks. All the facial characteristics match up 100%. He is not 41, 42 years old. He's about 55 years old. He's a big fraud. He's an agent of the New World Order, meant to string along all these pseudo-patriots to get them to go along with the New World Order agenda, unbeknownst to themselves. While on the other hand, they're thinking they're actually exposing it when they're really not, because if you don't expose the core of the New World Order, you're not exposing jack squat. If you're not exposing the Zionist Jewish control behind everything, you're not exposing anything. And that's precisely the role that Alex Jones plays, okay? Or rather, Bill Hicks. Now, in 2002, before I close out these parentheses, there was this known writer for The Guardian, I believe it was. I'm trying to remember his name. Anyway, he apparently went up to the Bohemian Grove in 2000 with Alex Jones and did reporting on it, and that's when Alex Jones was able to, quote-unquote, slip into the camp. So this guy's on C-SPAN in 2002, and he's talking to Brian Lamb, and he's saying, well, he goes, there's this new conspiracy guy out there, Alex Jones, and he's exposing the government and all their crimes and this and that, right? But then for some really strange reason, he starts getting into Bill Hicks. What? Yes, he does. What the hell did Bill Hicks have to do with Alex Jones? Bearing in mind this is about 15 years ago. So, at one point he's saying, oh, Bill Hicks was this great comedian, and then a year later Alex Jones appears on the scenes. It was something like that. But if you Google it, if you'll YouTube it, you'll find exactly what I mean. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. What did what did Bill Hicks have to do with Alex Jones in that conversation he had with Brian Lamb, which was solely about Alex Jones? So anyway, that's another side note. But, you know, Forbes magazine, Forbes magazine just came out with a huge article on Alex Jones that said this man helped to elect Trump. When you have the mainstream news media on your side, I think it's safe to say, I think it's really, really safe to say that you're part of the establishment yourself. Now, the establishment, folks, has always funded gatekeepers. They've always funded the agent provocateurs. I mean, we all know that from history. But see, we never thought it would happen to us truthers, us 9/11 people. We never thought that the Jews would control 9/11 truth from day one. As a matter of fact, folks, they had planned to create 9/11 truth groups even before 9/11 happened. Oh, you heard that correctly. So, on another side note, with regards to that issue, I was part of We Are Change Los Angeles. And We Are Change Los Angeles had some real issues. They had some real gatekeepers there that never wanted to talk about the Israeli role involved in 9/11. And boy, I can read you off names. I can read you emails. I can play you sound clips proving all this. I mean, the guy who was the head of the group was freaking blackmailing a particular girl that was part of the group for sex. Because basically she was obligated to him somehow with regards to some issue in the group. So, you know, basically he blackmailed the girl, and she was forced to perform sex for him. I'm not kidding you. I have all the proof. And that group was just so sick and twisted. And basically I left it because of all those things. Also because they never talked about the Israeli connection to 9/11, which is, again, the crux of the matter. That's a big gatekeeper group. And I found out later on down the road that the Jews had created all these so-called 9/11 truth groups even before 9/11 happened in order to make sure that no one would ever find out their role in 9/11, in a nutshell. So anyway, sorry, that's another side note, but let's get back to Donald Trump now. Donald Trump has Steve Mnuchin on his team. I mean, if that doesn't tell people something, nothing will. Here's another side note. Well, actually, it goes along with the broadcast. Donald Trump has also been saying he's going to do something about 9/11, right? That he's going to expose it. He's going to, expose the Saudis. He even threatened, it was rumored, that he was going to expose the Bush's role in 9/11. Okay, great. Say he does all that. Again, ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't mean jack squat. Because when you don't expose the Israeli role in 9/11, you're not exposing anything. They are the real power behind what's going on here. Now, since all this is basically part of my intro here to this broadcast, bear in mind that Donald Trump has been a longtime friend of Larry Silverstein, the former owner of the World Trade Center complexes, buildings, Tower 1, Tower 2, and Tower 7. Yes, you heard that correctly. Now, first I'd like to point out that in January of 2000, Donald Trump's book, The America We Deserve, was published. Okay? This is about a year and a half, roughly, before 9/11. And here's what he writes. One day we're told that a shadowy figure with no fixed address, named Osama bin Laden, is public enemy number one, and the U.S. jet fighters lay waste to his camp in Afghanistan. He escapes back under some rock, and a few news cycles later, it's on to a new enemy and a new crisis. Now, gee, how would Trump be able to know and predict with accuracy that Osama bin Laden will be a threat to the United States? Well, the book gets better, folks, because he basically says that he's going to attack the United States. This is a year and a half before 9/11. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Donald Trump wrote this. Now, bear in mind what I just said, too, about his connection with Larry Silverstein. Donald Trump knew damn well who was behind 9/11, folks. And I'm here to tell you he's part of the cover-up. Because think about it. If he's saying that we're friends of Israel, and if he's going to try now create a measure, at least on the part of the Congress, to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, something which no other president has done, if he's going to move the U.S. Embassy to Tel Aviv, if he's going to solidify ties with Israel, what does this tell you? He's supporting the very people that attacked us. Thus, all of this means that he's with them. He's on their side for taking over America. I mean, I just can't understand how all these stupid 9/11 so-called truth people are not talking about this and making the connection. So, what we're going to do, okay, so about 6 months ago, the mainstream news media first mentioned this, that Donald Trump had predicted 9/11 in his book. So let's go to a clip from MSNBC where they actually talk about this. And, I mean, this is such a jaw-dropper. Anyway, let's listen to the clip.
But let me show you something else. BuzzFeed dug up an old quote from Donald Trump talking about a large-scale terror attack 19 months before 9/11. In his 2000 book, The America We Deserve, Trump wrote, I really am convinced we're in danger of the sort of terrorist attacks that will make the bombing of the 1993 Trade Center look like little kids playing with firecrackers. Trump also mentioned the mastermind of the attack, writing, quote, one day we're told that a shadowy figure with no fixed address named Osama bin Laden is public enemy number one, and U.S. jet fighters lay waste to his camp in Afghanistan. He escapes back under some rock, and a few news cycles later, it's on to a new enemy and a new crisis. Trump.
Wait.
Yeah.
Okay, hold
Yeah.
on a second. Is this really Trump before 9/11? Have you read this?
2000 in his book.
Are we making that? Somebody, did you make this up, Mika?
Nick.
I did.
Did you make this up?
Yeah,
Nick,
exactly.
tell us it's over, right? Because
Will
you're
you
wrong
stop?
about everything.
Mika, stop. God.
I don't think it's over.
What's that? What's the rage here? Will you stop
No,
ripping
it's
on
cute.
him?
I think it's cute.
Well,
go for it.
no, really quickly, though. I mean, so, Willie, that was...
2000.
That was in a book he wrote in the year 2000. Yeah.
Well, it was published in 2000. He could have written in 1999 for all we know.
Exactly. He might have been a bit more prescient.
So he basically predicted the attacks from Osama bin Laden.
Well, we'd had the World Trade bombings in 93.
Right.
We'd had the embassy bombing, right, in
98.
98,
Yeah.
right?
The coal in 98.
And the coal as well. So
Yeah.
I think Osama bin Laden was in the atmosphere, and he wrote about it in the book.
You heard it, folks. Donald Trump predicted 9/11. Now, we don't stop here, because I have something else to tell you about that. There was a Serta mattress commercial that Donald Trump did back in 2010 in conjunction with this company because, he used to represent Serta Mattress. Now, Serta, of course, dumped him when he decided to run for president because apparently Serta didn't want to be recognized with him for whatever reason. For obvious reasons, because he's become controversial. So, basically, in the commercial, you see Donald Trump make clear references to 9/11. Okay? You see basically these sheep all around him. And in one scene, he's in some type of hallway, probably in Trump Towers. And there are these little pillars, and on top of these pillars are sheep. Two of the pillars say 9 and 11. One pillar says 9, the other says 11. And it's almost like he's hinting at the fact that all these dumb sheep don't know the truth about 9/11. You need to YouTube, basically, Donald Trump and Serta Mattress and see it for yourself. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. But like I said, how is he going to tell us about 9/11 truth, folks, when he is in cahoots with the very people that did 9/11? So that's another contradiction. That's the big lie that he's come out with. So we also just read that basically he's not going to get rid of James Comey from the FBI. The criminal James Comey, who didn't do anything to the criminals, the Clintons, during the campaign, because during the campaign, as you recall, all these huge revelations came out about Hillary Clinton and all her crimes, and so on and so forth. And one revelation after another came out, and she was never arrested. Obama, of course, was involved in all this because we found out that Obama himself helped Hillary Clinton set up her private server, okay, to channel all of her emails from the State Department to her home because a private server was installed in her home. Nobody got indicted by the FBI. That is beyond unthinkable. That just goes to show you that there is no justice in this country because they're all part of secret societies and they all cover for each other. And they couldn't give a flying you-know-what about America. Now, this is all, of course, confirmed in John Podesta's emails back, I think it was October last year, where we found out that according to Podesta and other Hillary aides, there's something called the shadow government. The shadow government that pulls the strings of power behind the scenes. Well, what do you know? If you Google that right now, you'll find out mainstream news publications that have been published about this. So the conspiracy theorists have been proven right once again. Now, of course, there was Pizzagate. And Pizzagate is a huge, huge scandal. That is a scandal of all scandals because it reveals how all the elitists, all the people from Hollywood, from the government, singers, you name it, they're all part of the big satanic pedophile ring out there. And it's utterly freaking disgusting. It's beyond unthinkable. And these people basically all need to be tried and be done away with once and for all. Honestly, they really, really do. They need to be tried, not before our court justice system, but before the American people, because there is no justice in this country. We have a treasonous government that is part of the New World Order. They can all go to hell. The American people need to try them and do away with them. It's just that plain and simple. If we're going to sit around and wait for the Supreme Court to bring justice, good luck. Don't you remember back in February last year, there was a huge thing with Scalia's sudden death, and we all know who was behind that. So there is no justice in this country. That's why we need to take this country back for America, for righteousness, for God and country. We need to bring this country back to the real foundations that our real founding fathers intended, okay? The ones, of course, that weren't secret closeted Freemasons and with the Illuminati and things of that sort. Now, a lot of them, of course, were skeptics. A lot of them were sort of atheists, like Thomas Jefferson. They didn't believe in all this stuff. But that's another issue. So, basically, Donald Trump has covered up Pizzagate, folks. He's hired on James Comey, who's covered up Pizzagate, and they're not saying anything about it. Now, Donald Trump, basically back in November of last year, Michael Flynn Jr. was hired on to Donald Trump's new transition team. And when Pizzagate broke in early November, basically what happened was Donald Trump, everyone thought that Donald Trump would expose it. Everyone was waiting for it. Alex Jones was waiting for it. Okay, if you look at his early broadcasts, he was jumping all over it. But then all of a sudden, something happened. And Alex Jones had to shut up. Okay, he got scared. And Joe Biggs, who works for InfoWars with Alex Jones, quit. Okay? It was like he just quit. And everyone's like, what the hell happened? I mean, it looked like he quit. Then some people thought that Jones fired him, but then everyone sort of concluded, no, he quit. Well, that's because Alex Jones didn't want to talk about Pizzagate anymore. Okay? So, anyway, Donald Trump, when he found out that Mr. Michael Flynn Jr. was tweeting about Pizzagate, he freaked out, and he fired him. Yes, you heard that correctly. He fired him. Gee, I thought Donald Trump was for the truth. I thought he hated the Clintons. I thought he was using every opportunity to expose them. I thought that, he'd have a heyday with Pizzagate. Yeah, but see, there's only one problem with this particular leak from WikiLeaks in comparison to all the others. With regards to all the others, Trump jumped all over them, folks. But with regards to Pizzagate, he wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Why is that? I'll tell you why that is. Because Donald Trump, apparently himself, is tied in with this international pedophile ring. Yes, you heard that correctly. First of all, there are still at least 2 cases looming over him, okay, where there are women who have accused him of pedophilia, accused him of raping them when they were teenage girls, underage girls. Okay, those are not made up. Those are real cases, folks. You can find the facts. It's all there on the internet. Now, first of all, Donald Trump's name was found on Jeffrey Epstein's little black book. Jeffrey Epstein, the arch-pedophile. I mean, hello? And not only that, Jeffrey Epstein's butler got a hold of that little black book several years ago and was trying to sell it for at least, I think it was $50,000. When the FBI found out, they put him in jail for obstruction of justice because he was supposed to turn that in, okay, because they wanted to use that in their case against Jeffrey Epstein. So here he is, the butler, some Mexican-American gentleman apparently, and, he's sitting in jail for about 18 months. Then all of a sudden, in late December of 2014, the guy drops dead in prison. Gee, that's interesting. And about 6 months later, roughly, Donald Trump decides to run for president. 1 month before that, he had a phone call with Bill Clinton, okay? And they talked about politics. Gee, I thought Donald Trump hated the Clintons. My God, give me a break. They're longtime friends. Now, a month after that, moving forward, okay, again, Donald Trump runs for president, right around May of 2015, okay? Several weeks after that phone call. Donald Trump and Bill Clinton have both admitted to that phone call, folks. But they won't tell you the details that were discussed. What happened was Bill Clinton, ladies and gentlemen, basically recommended Donald Trump run for president. Now, there are going to be some people that say, oh, you're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. Where's the proof for all blah, blah, blah? Okay? Where's the proof of that? Yeah, I'll give you proof. Go to our search engine on GreekNewsOnDemand.com or just go into Google, okay? And type in WikiLeaks bombshell. Trump was a tool used by the Hillary campaign from day one. For all those quote-unquote patriots out there who voted for Trump, who gave their unchecked support for a guy who made his money with the help of the Jewish mafia and the Italian mob, okay? Who wanted to have their cake and eat it too. I have news for you. You've all been fooled. You just don't learn your lesson, do you? To all the pseudo 9/11 quote-unquote truthers out there, whether they support Alex Jones or not, because I know he's sort of the head of the 9/11 truth movement, who also, too, fell for this election BS, giving Trump the quote-unquote benefit of the doubt, that this time we have a quote-unquote real candidate who is quote-unquote anti-New World Order, etc., who heard all the evidence against Trump that he, too, is a pawn of the Zionist Jews, and who blew it all off. Again, you who learned that Trump, too, is a pawn of the Zionist Jews, and he showed it all throughout the campaign, and you blew it off. Let me explain something to you, pseudo 9/11 truthers. You were all guilty of high treason because you knew damn well that whoever gets in as the new president is going to serve the Jews and the Illuminati. And you all willingly went along with this G-damn scam, excuse my French. You went along with it. You saw Donald Trump welcome the arch-terrorist Netanyahu who attacked us on 9/11. You saw all that, and you blew it off, folks, thinking, oh no, Trump is going to trick them. He's going to do them all in. He's just fooling them. No, you're fooling yourselves, and you know damn well that is the truth. And you willingly went along with this guy, and now this guy is ushering in the New World Order. You're guilty of treason. And yeah, I'm going to say it straight out. You're guilty of treason. Because you went along with the trap and you knew damn well you shouldn't do it. Let me give you an example. Alex Jones, again, who's really Bill Hicks. Basically, here's the situation with him. For years, since day one, he said, don't go vote for the Democrats or the Republicans. They're all treason. They're all traitors. They're both New World Order parties. I will never support them. He said that for years and years and years, okay, since day one. And that's why he was always promoting, during every election cycle, the libertarian candidate like Ron Paul. Remember the previous elections? 2000, I think it was 8, he was supporting Ron Paul, okay? He didn't support anyone during 2012, folks. He didn't support Obama, obviously, or Mitt Romney, okay? Because they're both trash. But this time around, he makes up the excuse that, this time around things are different. I'm going to vote for Trump. Really? I'm willing to make a bet that Alex Jones made a secret deal with Donald Trump to promote him all throughout the campaign, thus violating his basically oath his own beliefs that we should never support the Democrats, the Republicans, because they're traitors. Do you get what I'm saying now? I think this is the reason why he shut up, too, about Pizzagate. Trump probably told him, what the hell are you saying? Shut up. Trump probably threatened him. I ain't even joking here. Alex Jones knows damn well Donald Trump is part of the Illuminati, and he's supporting him. He sold himself to boost his ratings, etc., 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 and all that jazz. You who knew all this, yet you still go along with, you voted for Trump and you go along with him, you are traitors, and you could take that to the bank. Now, let's go down a little bit further here. I didn't vote. It's all BS. You guys all knew it was BS because presidents are not elected. They're selected. So what the hell did you go and support this whole fake process for? You knew damn well. Again, I'm talking to all the supposed 9/11 truthers out there. Okay? Now, I'm not talking in general. I'm not talking in general to everyone out there. I'm talking to a specific group of people right now. So, read the veteranstoday.com article, Is Alex Jones covering for Trump's Jewish mob ties? And you'll get the whole truth there. Now, let's go to the meat of the matter here. According to redslate.com, read the shocking evidence that implicates Trump in a plot along with Hillary Clinton to enter the presidential race. WikiLeaks has done it again. They released this a few weeks ago. This article I had published November the 9th, 2016. Okay? So, WikiLeaks a few weeks before that released basically some more damning evidence about Hillary Clinton. So here's what Red Slate writes. If you were wondering if a Trump candidacy was any worry to Clinton, then wonder no more. The hacked emails released by WikiLeaks show an interesting tidbit about how the Democrats looked at the idea of a Trump candidacy. And you can safely, that was during the campaign. That was actually, I'm sorry, not during the campaign, but several months before Donald Trump entered the campaign. That's when it was, several months before. This is in April of 2015, okay? So they looked at the idea of a Trump candidacy, and you can safely see that all of the candidates Hillary actively wanted to face, Trump was on the list. Okay? She called these candidates Pied Piper candidates. She had on the list 3 guys, Trump, Ted Cruz, and Ben Carson. She picked them. Okay? She picked them. The summary is that of these leaks is that the Democratic National Convention and the Clinton campaign wanted Trump to be Hillary's opponent because they knew his extreme stances could be used to alienate and divide. So, in other words, when you really sum up these leaks, it's really Trump that she wanted. They could use, this is all basically used, in my opinion, and let me just sum this up, to dupe basically a lot of basically, just basically dupe all of America in general. Let's just put it that way. Hillary Clinton told the Republicans, the point is, to put Trump in the race. Does that not tell you anything? And then, of course, I know what you're going to say now. Well, Trump eventually became president. Yeah, he did. That's because Hillary Clinton put him in the race. You're not getting it. You're not seeing behind the pictures. You're not, again, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. Those who are basically thinking right now, what is this guy talking about? Trump's president now. Yeah, he's president now because there's a bigger, wider agenda. It's called the Illuminati's agenda. They told Hillary to play her role. She played her role, and her role entailed telling the Republicans to put Trump in the race. Why do you think Trump had a phone call with Bill Clinton right around this same damn time, April roughly, of 2015? Okay? Did you not see that huge gala that Trump and Hillary went to? And I covered this in a previous broadcast. They went to visit the Jesuits in D.C., and they all chummed it up. They roasted each other. Do you know who the Jesuits are? The Jesuits have always played a catalytic role in the New World Order, these fake Catholic priests who are really all crypto Jews. Okay? I mean, folks, give me a break here. for people not to analyze this, particularly from the 9/11 Truth Movement, covering this up. Okay, a lot of people, of course, didn't hear about this, but for those that didn't talk about it, you're covering up the truth. Let me explain something simple about what real patriotism and 9/11 truth is. For those that just don't seem to get it, and who are still going on with this fake government, which is really a private corporation of the Rothschilds, the centerpiece being the Federal Reserve Bank, etc. Okay? I'm addressing people who act like, they're exposing the Illuminati and the New World Order, yet they still go and they vote. You guys still haven't gotten it, do you? A real patriot, a real informed 9/11 truther, is one that doesn't go and vote, is one that does not support this government, is one that doesn't even recognize it, whose goal is to get rid of it. That's a real patriot. And if you're one of those that is playing it on the safe side because whatever fantasies you have in your mind about them coming to get you, if you speak out this way, let me tell you something. You're not a real patriot. You're a fake. We don't need these type of patriots in America. We need real patriots who are going to stand up, are going to expose things the way they are and take back this country in a concerted effort with all the real patriots out there. Okay? There's a lot out there, folks. And they're not just militiamen. Let me tell you something. They're everywhere. They're in the government. They're in the court systems. They're attorneys. They are firemen. They're policemen. There's a lot of damn awake people out there who believe this way and who knows the whole system's a fraud because it's set up to bring in the New World Order. It's set up to screw every American. That is a real patriot for those out there that just don't seem to get it, who love their life more, who are concerned about loving their life more and living in their comfort zone rather than really taking a real brave stand to take back this country. Your complacency is not going to do jack squat for basically America and for its liberation, its deliverance, let's say, from the New World Order. Just so you all know. Now, I'm going to get into, in this last segment, Trump and Greece. Greece has been screwed by the IMF, okay, and the rest of the Troika for the past 7+ years. It was all a scam made up, for those who don't know. And again, read my book, Hellenic Crisis by John Contreras, and you'll get all the facts, all the details. This is a crisis that was made up to screw the Greek people in order for German and French banks and other banks too, other European banks, to get bailout funds to bail out their own banks. Most of the money basically from this bailouts were stolen, either stolen and sent to offshore bank accounts, and we have all the facts, or they were used to basically help Greek banks to pay off their loans to basically German or bonds or other financial instruments to German and French banks and Italian banks too. This is the real reason for the Greek economic crisis. So therefore, this whole false narrative had to be made up that the Greeks were, horrible with their finances, that they have a huge private sector, that the Greeks retire at 40, that they don't pay their taxes. That was all made up, ladies and gentlemen, in order to screw the Greek people. So they needed to create also some fake financial data that would basically require a bailout, quote unquote, from the Troika. So far, Greece has taken about 3 bailouts. The third bailout hasn't even been basically, well, it was agreed upon last year, in August of 2015, but it hasn't even been completely fully integrated yet. There's all these details that go along with it, and it's really complicated. So basically, the Greek people have had to pay for all this in so many different ways. I mean, in my reporting, I reported on basically how Hillary Clinton, according to WikiLeaks, and this is a report that Fox News and other media outlets did last year, like RT. According to WikiLeaks, it was Hillary Clinton that actually told, Europe, Angela Merkel and the Troika to put Greece under a second bailout package that would be accompanied by severe austerity measures. This is another crime, ladies and gentlemen, that Hillary Clinton committed. And that's why she should be in prison for the evil that she's done. Also, when she was Secretary of State, she was stealing information about the Greek debt and selling it, basically, she was actually, she was selling it, but she was also divvying it up between family members and associates so they can use this information to gamble on the Greek financial figures on certain derivatives on the international stock market, which has caused major harm to the Greek economic situation. She gave this information to her closest friends, to family members like her son-in-law, Mark Malvinsky, and so on and so forth. Goldman Sachs played a role in this. So WikiLeaks revealed this to us also last year. It was around middle of last year. So Donald Trump, he knows all this, but of course, again, we all thought that he was going to put Hillary in jail, right? Remember that whole movement, Hillary for prison? Let me tell you, the Hillary for prison movement doesn't exist anymore, folks. They've buried it. Donald Trump is not putting Hillary Clinton in prison for the evil she's done to Greece. What does that tell you about what Donald Trump feels about Greece, folks? He doesn't give a shit about Greece, excuse my French. Now, Donald Trump all throughout the campaign has spoke disparagingly against Greece. He said things like, if we don't tidy up our financial situation here in America and our debt explodes to a certain ceiling, which is like 23 trillion, we're going to all be screwed and become like Greece, He's also said things like, Greece is not our situation. Let Russia and let, Germany take care of it. Greece is the responsibility of the United States government because the United States plays a major catalytic role in the IMF. We are the number one shareholder in the IMF via the private corporation based in Puerto Rico called the U.S. Treasury Department. Yes, you heard that correctly. The U.S. Treasury Department is a private corporation based in Puerto Rico, along with, of course, the IRS. Both operate under the color of law, but they're private corporations. They're not registered in this country. Let me now play for you a clip where Donald Trump is on Fox News, and he's talking with this lady, what's her name, Maria Bartiromo, about Greece. Listen to what he says. This is about several months ago.
Hypothetically speaking, let's say you're the president and we've got this... Donald, hypothetically speaking, let's say you're the president and we've got this debt crisis going on in Greece. What do you do?
Well, I'd stay back a little bit. I woun't get too involved. We get too involved the things. I would definitely stay back. Don't forget, the whole Euro situation was created to compete against the United States. They put together a group of countries to beat the United States. Now, Germany is very powerful, very strong. I'd let Germany handle it. We have enough problems. Let Germany handle it. Germany will take care of it. This is peanuts for Germany. They'll take care of it. Frankly, Putin probably comes in to save the day if Germany doesn't. So I think that Greece is going to be in better shape than people think. But the United States cannot be in every fight. And just remember, this was all set up to hurt the United States. They were going to do better trades because of the power. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked out perfectly. It's probably still not a bad thing.
So basically that's all BS what he's saying. He's passing the buck to Germany or Russia. The United States has played a huge role in what has taken place in Greece. Now, there are reports coming out of the western part of the IMF where the head of the western part of the IMF, Paul Thompson, is telling Trump, and this is all mainstream news media now, dump Greece, get rid of them, they're not worth it anymore, make them do a Grexit, at least leave the Eurozone, and basically just screw them, forget about them, and make them also pay back our 20 billion euros that they took from us. I mean, this is just unbelievable. So the real reporting now is that Trump is, basically thinking about forcing Greece to do a Grexit. Now, if that happens, it's going to cause irreparable harm. You can't just pull out of the EU if you're Greece. If you're doing a Brexit, that's different, but a Grexit is a whole, different ballgame, folks. They can't just pull out. They're already in a very fragile situation, and you're going to make them go back to the drachma. Think about the ramifications of all of this, honestly. Now, back in October of last year, I interviewed with a colleague of mine, Trump's official representative to Greece, Christos Marafatsos, okay? And we're going to be interviewing him again in a few days. So basically, it's going to be another key interview, and he's going to basically answer some questions about all this stuff. So hopefully we can get some good, honest, real answers out of him about what's going on now between Trump and Greece. But also, on another side note, the CIA, about 8 days before Trump's inauguration, decided to update their section of the website on Greece. And they published a map where basically they left out the island Kastalorizo, which is a very key Greek island where the Greek economic zone meets the Turkish economic zone. And the fact that they've taken it out basically shows how they don't recognize Greece's sovereign rights, because they basically want Greece to hand over that area to the Turks. And if the Turks get that area, they also get 2/3 of Greece's natural resources in the Aegean. Also, Donald Trump just renewed his pledge that he's going to sign an executive order, basically, to bring back renditions, the black CIA camps. Okay? This is a very, very crucial issue, folks, because Trump wants to bring back torture. Okay? Now, it's barred by law from the Supreme Court, but he's going to try whatever it does to bring back what Bush created with this whole issue. In a nutshell, folks, there are rendition camps of the CIA all over the world, and according to a 2006 report by the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe, Greece just so happens to be basically a hub for all of these illegal kidnappings. They're called redentions, where the CIA kidnaps so-called terrorists and takes them to these special black camps and tortures them. So, is Trump going to renew all these camps? Is Greece going to be included in this? I certainly hope not. This is John Contreras with Greek News on Demand. Visit our site today, GreekNewsOnDemand.com. See also the English section for the English articles. Thank you so much. God bless, and take care.
Keep it alive through these lines I write. I keep it live.
The Anti-Media Radio with your host Nick Burnaby here on